Sanitation comes across different elements, which is access to safe toilets, access to clean water, and treatment of the waste. I'd like to just focus on the access to the clean toilets for now. And yes, from the latest numbers we have, there's over 5 million people who don't have access to any sort of toilet, so it's open defecation, and there's about 30%, just under 30%, who don't have access to safe toilets. And that's not good. In this day and age, we would expect that number to be a lot less as we continue to develop. Yes, there has been improvement over the years, but these numbers are stark. Also, when you think about the impact this has, it has impact on safety when people don't have access to safe toilets, school attendance for children, health issues, and this all has a detrimental impact on the productivity and economy of our workforce. The World Bank and Water Sanitation Programme estimate poor sanitation in Kenya costs the economy about 27 billion shillings. That's why I think, and we should all get together, governments, private sector and NGOs, to address the problem. The burden needs to be shared across. We can't just put it solely on the government because the financial investment will be huge. Yet there's expertise in NGOs as well as private sector who can all come to the table to help. One thing other than purely just constructing toilets is also about education and awareness about good sanitation practices. So for example, one of the things we would do as Harpic and Reckitt Benckiser, we have a global vision and purpose of creating a cleaner world, which is very simple. But how does that translate to sanitation in Kenya? With Harpic, we would look to get this year at least 500,000 people on one-to-one education, like going around doors in households in the less developed parts of the country and Nairobi in particular, educating on good sanitation practices. That's one way to already make a difference. How to clean, how to wash hands, general hygiene and sanitation practices. Next would be then how do we get access to these toilets for our citizens and residents of these areas. And I think that's where aid organizations, government, private sector all need to play a part to help address that burning need. There's already an infrastructure of private toilets that are being constructed by certain partners and placed in the slums with where there's area of greatest need. And there's a whole economic system behind it about who keeps the toilet clean, collection of waste matter going and being treated. Very impressive work from this partner. There are other partners who we've come across who focus purely on community empowerment. So empowering the community in these areas to educate the residents and be responsible for maintaining the existing toilets and treating the wastewater. From our side as Harpic, as I mentioned, there's education where we aim to directly reach at least 500,000 people this year, going into their homes, teaching them good toilet cleaning practice and sanitation practices in general. In addition, so in November we marked World Toilet Day, which we did in Mukuru Kwa Njenga in Nairobi, a slum with an area which has a dire need for improved sanitation. So just to give you some context, this area has a population of about 110,000 people and they only have 633 toilets. That means a ratio of 1 to 110 people per toilet. Recommendation global standards is 1 to 20. So it's a huge disparity. And we marked this with them in November. Today we're actually unveiling new toilets and showers for a community organization called Amusha Youth Organization. It's a small step, but in part of as the journey to get to improving the overall issue in the area, it's not just about providing them with new toilets. We've worked with the county health officials for them, the community to be educated and trained on good sanitation practices.